Hello anybody, I'm alpacapatrol, and this is Crusader Kings 2, The Old Gods. So this is a new expansion that just came out for Crusader Kings 2. Now, Crusader Kings 2, what it is a grand strategy game. There's been a lot of people covering it recently, because this expansion is actually really cool. But this video specifically, I think, is just gonna serve as sort of a, introduction or a tutorial for the game. Just to see, you know, how people like it and try to explain exactly what's going on, because this game is insanely complex. So a grand strategy game is sort of like a 4X game in a lot of ways, which, you know, you would describe civilization or what have you. That would be a 4X game. This is more focused in that you were focusing on a time period. So the earliest time period that we can get is 867, as you see in the top center of the screen right here. That is the new time period that you get to play as in the Old Gods. The Old Gods, the newest expansion, adding 200 extra years, and also the ability to play as Pagans. So Crusader Kings 2 initially launched with the ability to play as Christian rulers. So like the guys here that well, not here. That's the Umayyads, bro. And these Christian rulers, these Catholic rulers, because, you know, Crusader Kings, you get it. It's the same, that kind of idea. But then as more expansions rolled out, you had sort of Islam. You had the ability to play not the Roman Empire. Well, you know, basically what the Eastern Roman Empire became after the fall of Rome, about 200, 300 years before this. Actually, yeah, around 300 years before this. So this is the old Eastern Roman Empire, the Byzantines. And then also, you have now the Old Gods allowed us to play as the Pagans up here. The only expansion that I don't actually own is the one where you get to play as these merchant republics here, like Venice and such. But all of the thing is, if you play Crusader Kings 2 right now, all of the upgrades that you get from, say, the Old Gods, besides playing in 867, you get like all the stuff from the Byzantine expansion, like factions and so on and so forth. Those are all added into your game. It just unlocks the ability to play the very specific storylines of these other places. But since we are playing in the Old Gods, I figure, why not try a pagan, right? I mean, that seems to be the best idea for us. Now, here's the question. Do I want to play as... These are the guys that I've played as right now. King Ivar the Boneless is also... There are interesting characters on the side here, on the left-hand side, where you can play as characters that are interesting through history. Now, like I said, this game can be played into a very late era, so... Hold on a second, let me... increase the date. Why can't I increase the date? Alright, let's go to Stanford Bridge. So these are all historical dates that are interesting. So as you can see, the world changes as time goes on. Rise of Hansa, as the Golden Horde, the Mongols have come in, and the 100 Years' War, the Golden Horde's still around. Novgorod is the big Russian Empire there. Looks like Spain has retaken its land, Portugal exists, Aragon still exists, Spain doesn't really exist yet, it's still Castile. And you have France with England kind of encroaching, Brittany's still a place. But yeah, you could play as you could literally play as at any point here. So let's see, I could go back to like December 31st of 1326. You see, and the world actually changes based on that. But I'm just going to play in the Old Gods era, because that's, you know, the newest era that was just added in the expansion, if it happens to work. I don't know if it's, I appear to have broken the game. That's unfortunate. Ah, no, there we go. We're back at the Old Gods. Keep in mind, you know, sometimes it could lag a bit, just because, not because my computer is particularly bad, but because there's a lot of things going on, as you'll see once we get into the game. But anyway, I'm actually just going to jump in here, because it's probably the best idea, and I'm going to play as King Rurik of Holmgarder. Although I could design the ruler, which is one of the expansions that you can get, which is real cool. So, in Crusader Kings, you play as one of the major rulers, or a landowner, essentially, and you're playing that ruler's bloodline. So, right now I have the Independent Realms tab on, so I can see all the independent realms. I could also put on the counts, so I could see what counts I could play as. I could also play as dukes, which are like counts, the next step up in the hierarchy. Then we have kings, and you know these are all the kings of the land. There's no king in England yet. There's a king in Andalusia, it seems. King of Egypt, Khazari, all that stuff. Religions. Now this is important. So Tengri is a new pagan religion. Slavic, Suamenetsko, Norse. What is that? Remuvia. That's like the new Wu-Tang album that's coming out. And cultures, which is, you know, somewhat important. Some of that stuff's pretty important, but you just generally go for independent realms and see who we want to play. I want to play as Rurikovich, but I'm actually going to design a ruler because I kind of feel like it. So let's change him up a bit here, make him look kind of silly. I like that. He kind of looks like Louis C.K. In fact, we're gonna play Louis C.K. right now is what we're doing. So let's go ahead and change this up. So you do have the ability to change your coat of arms for your family. So if you ever watch like Game of Thrones or something like that, then you'll get the kind of idea as to what it is that you're going to be doing here. Let's change this to, yeah, red. Sure, we're the Red Eagles of the CKs. So the dynasty, of course, is going to be CK. And of course our king is going to be known as Louis. Or Louis, rather. Now, we can choose traits. Now, this works a lot like an RPG. So each of these traits give different bonuses to different stats. So as you can see here, we have diplomacy, martial, stewardship, intrigue, and learning. Intrigue is about, I don't know why I did it in that order, but intrigue is your ability to use like spy actions or plots like assassinations. Learning is like religious ability. Stewardship has to do with money and also the amount of land that you can hold. Martial is your ability to fight, and diplomacy is your ability to use diplomatic actions like creating a casus belli or something like that. I could change their sons, I could change the culture, I could change whether or not he's married. I'm going to keep it at nothing for now. You also have this main trait, or your education rather, and I'm going to make it Midas touched, which means he's going to be age 31, but that's fine, because he's going to have really high stewardship, which means he can, hold a lot of land. So I'm actually going to make him excommunicated, because I don't think that's going to be a big deal. We're pagans anyway, so he's going to get back to 16. So as you can see, these numbers actually correspond to ages. So if I were to pick something really good, so let's see if I can find something really, really good. Like, yeah, this is 40 strong. He gets +2 martial, +1 diplomacy, +10% fertility, and +2 health. If I choose this, you'll see his age bumps up to 51. I don't want that, right? I want a young king to be able to kind of, stick around for a while. I'm actually probably going to give him Lustful. Yeah, I'm going to give him Lustful. And then we got Brave, which gives him extra martial. That's okay. That's okay. I don't want to spend too much time in this menu here, because it's not entirely necessary to show off the game. Oh, I can make him attractive. I can give him extra diplomacy. But it's going to add a lot of age, isn't it? Yeah, 26. 26. That's pretty good. Extra diplomacy ain't so bad, but yeah, I'm going to get rid of it. I can make him a lunatic. I can make him a crusader. Hey, you know what? Let's leave it right there, like so. He's lustful and excommunicated, probably because of his lust. I mean, Louis C.K. Wait, can we add gregarious? I think we can. Where's the G? He seems like a gregarious type of guy. No, we have greedy. I don't think Louis C.K. is very greedy. He might be gluttonous though, but I don't want to lower his stewardship. You know what? That's fine. We're not going to anger Louis C.K. just in case he happens to be watching. Let's go ahead and jump in. So now we have created King Louis of Holmgarder. I actually don't know how to spell that or how to say that properly, but that's fine. So we'll jump in here and see what happens. Now we're actually getting into the real game. I apologize for taking so long to jump into the actual gameplay, but a lot of stuff is kind of important to understand at the beginning. So, at the top of your screen, Rurikovich has arrived at my court. I wonder if that's the king that was supposed to be there. Anyway, so there are a bunch of bubbles at the top here that kind of show you a bunch of things that you should do. Right, these are your actions that you really should get on doing. So let's go ahead and pick an ambition real quick. Our heir is this guy. Who is he? His parent is Rurikovich. Oh, I guess, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the king that was supposed to be there. So he's just joined our court. That's kind of funny. Anyway, so let's go ahead and pick an ambition. First ambition, I'm gonna do get married. There's a bunch of different options that you can do. So like for instance, I could do improve martial ability. Why do I have 0 diplomacy? That's real bad. But yeah, I can improve martial ability, and that'll give me a bunch of random events to increase my martial ability. But I'm gonna just go ahead and get married real quick. And the reason I'm gonna do get married is because that's something that I can deal with. Ruler unmarried, title loss on succession, no heir to your dynasty. Okay, those things I don't have to deal with right now. So first, let's go ahead and arrange a marriage. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, how marriage works is you search through the lands for whoever it is you want to marry based on their stats. So you see I'm actually sorting them by their stats. Generally, I want to steward a wife who's young. This one's pretty good. She's got Midas touched as well. She's got 14 stewardship, 10 martial. I like this lady. She's pretty good. The problem is she's lowborn, most likely. So that's going to be a little bit of a problem for us, our highborn Duke right now, the CK dynasty. I don't know what CK even stands for. What could it possibly stand for? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyway, but she really hates us. She doesn't like us because of personal diplomacy, short reign, and excommunication. She doesn't like us because we're excommunicated? We're like, we're pagan. Who cares what the Pope thinks? Whatever. That's fine. Let's just go ahead and marry this lady. She seems cool. So we would propose. Hey, look at that. Oh no, that's her. She would get a lot of prestige for marrying into us. I don't know why this happens right now. It seems to be a weird thing that's new to the old gods, but that's fine. We're actually going to lose some prestige, which is our stat up here in the top right-hand corner. And we're actually just going to gain our prestige because we were at minus 100 for a moment there. We actually might have been minus 170 or something for marrying her. That's fine, whatever. We're just trying to get some kids out of her. It doesn't really matter. So in the top right-hand corner of the screen, you can see the date. You can see your gold and your income. Our income doesn't exist yet because we haven't actually really started the game. We can see our prestige, which is increasing over time. However, it's negative 70 right now. That's not that important. We also have piety, which is your religious score. Domain size, which we'll get into later, but essentially that's the ability to hold as many lands as possible. Right now we actually only hold these 2 lands. These are the only lands that we physically hold. The other lands are, as you see in the right and the left-hand side of the screen, are held by different guys, different lords, right? So he's a chief, so he holds the county of Ingria. So, you know, that's good and bad, because they obviously are not family, and they don't necessarily like you holding too much land yourself and all that. So it's kind of a political game. It's a game of politics that you have to deal with. Realm size, I actually don't know what this is, but if I don't know what it is, doesn't really matter. Your score doesn't really matter. We're going to go through the top left-hand side of the screen, too, because this is all important. I realize that we've not done, like, anything yet, and forgive me, but this is really important to understanding the game. So, the left-hand side of the screen right now, we have the council, right? So these are our specific, or our personal group of council members. You can see here the numbers are their actual skills in each department, and their positions are corresponding to their actual stats in the game. So we have learning, we have intrigue, we have stewardship, we have martial, and we have diplomacy. So if I had a good steward, he would increase my stewardship score overall, or at least my domain size and my wealth overall. And they can each do different actions. I can appoint whoever I want. I can also make them forbidden to lead armies if I really, really like them. So like this guy, maybe I really like this guy. Personally, I don't think I do. He doesn't really matter to me. He's House Rurikovich. It looks like his father is Rurik Rurikovich. Yeah, I don't really care too much about him. So who cares? Anyway, so we can do a couple of things with our Chancellor. One of the most important things is fabricating claims. However, as you'll see, because we're playing the old gods, it doesn't really matter as much to fabricate claims. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to go ahead and make him improve diplomatic relations here in Perm. We're going to, no, not suppress revolts. We're going to make him train troops here in Homegarder. The steward is going to collect taxes. We're going to have the spy network. We're going to go ahead and scheme here. And we're going to, I don't know, improve religious relations. Yeah, let's improve religious relations inside of our own kingdom. So these all correspond to different things that aren't particularly important to know right off the bat for the gameplay, but they are important to kind of read through if you're playing yourself. Next, we're going to jump into the laws tab. Now, laws are interesting because I could say, for instance, just jump up this feudal taxation to harsh, but it's going to lower our vassal opinion by 30. Now, if I jump in here, I don't want to, like, I don't want to oversaturate your minds with information here, but vassals are very important. So our vassals, essentially, are those guys that I was telling you about, these guys who hold this land. These are each our vassals, right? They each have their own court and so on and so forth, right? And they keep their own councils. But they're all under me because I'm a petty king, right? So I'm technically king of this land, but I'm not really a full king because I don't hold enough land. So I'm considered a petty king. Anyway, let's go into our vassals, and as you can see, most of them, actually all of them, hate me. They all really, really don't like me, which is a bit unfortunate. Now, we can do things to deal with this. So, like, for instance, this guy, Nuyanza Ingriha, or Ingrija, I don't know how to particularly pronounce that. So he has -4 opinion. That's not that bad. That's not super bad. So what we can do is we can go into his diplomacy tab and give him some things. So we can send him a gift of 20 bucks, and he'll like us by 24, you know, respect points. Or we can just award him an honorary title. These don't really mean much, but they increase their like. So I'm going to go ahead and make him the herdman. You can only give them out once per, basically, their lifetime. Who else do we have that's low? So now Niaguiza Ingrija likes me. You know, he has six positive points towards me right now. So we have another chief of Tropopets or whatever. So let's go ahead and award him an honorary title. We'll make him a herdsman too. He's just herding everybody. We're just herding the whole town. I'll give you a herdman too. Yeah, you're a herdman. You're all herdmen. Let's all be herdmen. Now, usually titles like that, like honorary titles, you can't give out the same one multiple times. I don't know if this is new of yeah, I don't know if this is new to old gods, but usually they don't let you spend multiple honorary titles. Let's see. Let's okay, we have only a few herdmen that we can give out. That's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and give him cupbearer. He'll be the bearer of cups for us. Which was kind of important. He's a chief. Basically, I'm just trying to get the chiefs to like me, because if I don't get the chiefs to like me, then things are not good. Now, I don't want to give him a landed title. If I grant a landed title, I could give him one of my lands. I don't want to do that, because I don't want to get anybody any extra land. I could also grant his independence, which he would love me for, but I ain't doing that. He has to pay his dues to me. So let's just award him an honorary title, like Mercasander. And now he's at 0, and we still have one chief who does not like me, which is unfortunate, and he really doesn't like me. Where is he? Oh, he's down here. Alright, may have to deal with that. May have to deal with that in the future. Anyway, we're in the laws tab. So, for instance, I could switch these laws, but all the nobles have to approve, and as you can see, since they don't like me, they're probably not going to approve it, and they really won't like me if I change any of the laws. So, right now, I'm not really going to deal with that. There are other things that you could deal with here in the in your succession laws. So agnatic cognatic is the only thing that you can change because we're pagan, right? So normally a Christian ruler, say, like if I were looking over here in Scotland, right? This guy, the King Constantine of Scotland, he would have the ability to, I wonder if he's an old Roman guy, probably, Constantine the First of Scotland. I should look that up. That's interesting. Anyway, he probably has the ability to, or he does have the ability to change succession laws. Now that's important based on who your kids are, right? You may have to change succession laws to make it so that one kid inherits all the titles, or so on and so forth. You know, you need a daughter to inherit land, so you have to change those laws, and they all come with their own requirements. Right, so, but the main requirement, as you can see, is no vassal has a negative opinion of me. Obviously, a lot of my vassals have a negative opinion of me, but I also can't change succession laws, so unless we switch over to Catholicism, which we can do eventually. But anyway, we're going to jump into technology. Technology gives us the ability to kind of increase our ability in certain subjects. It's, you know, an incremental increase over time. It's not super important in Crusader Kings, so we could kind of skip past it. Military is kind of important, so we can see all of our vassals' troops here. Can't actually get any troops from these guys for some reason. That's interesting. But yeah, we can see all of our individual vassals' troops that we can call to action if we really need to. We can also see that our amount of troops, we have 701 available to us. We can actually just raise the personal levies here. And that's how military works, essentially. I could also just dismiss them, which I will do. Yeah, let's go ahead and send him back home, because we don't really need him. And we can also raise the vassal levies. I'm not going to do that one all willy-nilly, because if you raise vassal levies, vassals don't like it very much. And these are all little messages that aren't super important. These are the less important messages. But anyway, let's go back in here. We can also go to mercenaries, which is pretty important. So, generally speaking, you're going to want to hire mercenaries pretty frequently. So I can spend $70, have a monthly cost of $3.50. I don't know why I'm saying dollars. It's just gold doubloons, let's say. It could be florins. That's what it's called in Europe Universalis 3, but I'm pretty sure it's not florins here. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's just gold. And I would get 1,400 men. Holy orders are important, but only if you're a Catholic king, so it doesn't really matter that much. We can just move on. Intrigue, we can choose plots, so I can revoke the county of Luki, revoke the county of Skov. That's interesting. So I could revoke... Huh. Who's the guy who really hates me? Let's check this out. Maybe we could try a plot here. Chief of Smoleskia. I wonder if I can do that. Do we have Smoleskia as... No, we don't. Why can we do that one, I wonder? Maybe I have a claim. Is holder... King Louis of Holmgarder. Interesting. Alright, well, that's interesting. There are different plots that you can do. Plots on characters as well, so if I click on any one of these characters, I can see choose a plot. I can choose to kill him, and if I wanted to, I could just get some backers to try to assassinate this guy. You'll need to do that eventually for different reasons. It really comes in a case-by-case basis, but really you can do anything in this game. We can invite a holy man to court, nobles, grebutants. We could do Grand Hunt, Runestone, hold a Great Blot. We don't really need that right now, so none of those things are really important. Factions aren't super important, and religion right now isn't super important because we're pagan. We can reform the religion, but we have to hold a bunch of holy lands. So... all that isn't super important, and now we can basically get into the game. We moved our council around, and we'll just go ahead and press spacebar, and that'll let us, move on to the game. So immediately, a day passed, and because I got married, I fulfilled the ambition of getting married, so I can pick a new ambition. My new ambition will be to have a son, because obviously, I want a son. Because this game is all about bloodline, so if I click on House CK, you can see... I have the ability to look through everything that I could possibly want. I could look at my queen if I wanted to, but it's not super important. But yeah, so we're in House CK. Obviously, I don't have any kids yet, and because of that, not dynastic heir is our heir, which is, oh good, this guy gets it. Well, that's unfortunate. Rurik Ruikovich inherits for some reason. That's weird. I wonder why. Who is he? What's his family? He has no family. That's really weird that Rurik Ruikovich inherits. Does he like me more? No, he likes me less! Okay, well, let's just move on. So what we're actually going to do right now is we're just going to bump up the volume, bump up the speed a bit. Okay, we have Rurik Ruikovich claims that he would be a better marshal than Helgi and petitions that he should be given the title of Marshal of the Petty Kingdom of Holmgarder. So, basically, this guy wants to be the Marshal. He's got 19, but he holds no land. And this guy also holds no land, and he has 15. So yeah, let's change it. Now, the reason I was checking to see if he had any land is because if he's a vassal, I don't want to slight one of my vassals, right? Because then we'd have to deal with the consequences of that, of them liking us less. And obviously, how much they like us is pretty important. So I'm actually just gonna look around here. I'm just looking to see if there's anybody that I can actually kind of screw over out of their land. No, it looks like Rurik Ruikovich inherits everything for some reason. That's weird. He's the king that was supposed to exist, but he does not exist anymore. Whatever. That's fine. I guess he's got claims on all the land. I guess that's how it works. But anyway, we're going to just kind of keep fast-forwarding here. So, as you can see in the top right-hand corner of the screen, the clock is moving. We've just auto-saved because we are... farther in, or because, oh god, that's real bad. Okay, we have some things to deal with. Chief Dobozir of Skov just founded the Independence faction. So factions are new to the game. But anyway, like I was saying, we're moving at it at a reasonable speed. You can change the speed up in the top right-hand corner of the screen. We're going to drop it down to the lowest level, which is day by day, real slow. But now we have to go into the Factions tab. So Factions tab is only important if... it has, if there are factions going on. So, for instance, this guy is trying to get independence. Now, his heir is Sigator Doberrucka. Alright, that's interesting. Here's a question. Can I just end his plot? No. Something new of Crusader Kings Old Gods is actually pretty cool. I could take a concubine for his court. So I could go into his court and take this lady, and now she'll be my concubine and come to my court, which is pretty nice. I don't know who she is, actually. Can I look? Well, I want to go see who she is. She's not important at all. But I can take a concubine from his court, is basically what I'm trying to say. So we're gonna have a little bit of trouble here, because this guy has a pretty powerful faction. He has basically half the amount of men that I have, and if he gets any other noble lords to come there, then things are gonna get bad. Now I'm trying to see if I have the ability to end his plot. Unfortunately, I do not. It is time to recognize the full independence of the faction. So he's basically straight up being like, okay, I want independence or I'm going to fight you. So here we go. Okay, now he has declared independence, which means I have to rebel. He's rebelling against us, which means we have immediately gone to war. We have twice as many troops as he does, so that's in our favor, but also a little bit dangerous. Large bands of rebels and opportunities are flocking to the banner of the faithless traitor. Dang! That's unfortunate. Alright, so a bunch of rebels are joining him, which is real bad. So, I'm actually just going to pause for a second. So, this game is not turn-based, like maybe you would expect of a game of this sort. So, these guys are actually going to arrive in Holmgarder on June 7th, 868. That kind of thing is important in war, in times of war, which you'll see. So, we actually don't have, like, an overwhelmingly large force, which is kind of scaring me a bit. If we need to, we will hire mercenaries. And also, if we need to, we will... Oh, boy. Where is he going? He's going to Holmgarder. I'm in Holmgarder, and I will arrive at July 8th. He will arrive in July 17th. So, you know what? I'm just going to let him come here. Let's take a fight. We're going to fight him, and we're going to see what happens. If worst comes to worst, we call our vassals. And if worst really comes to worst, we'll hire some mercenaries. But usually, I don't like to hire mercenaries immediately. So, when you get into battle, this couldn't have gone any better, by the way, this video showing off everything. So, we're basically evenly matched. This is based on your troops, as you'll see in the left-hand corner here. It's based on their troops' martial skill and the amount of troops that they have. So, as you can see, they have 363 heavy infantry, 22 light cav, 12 archers, and a bunch of light infantry. We have a lot of heavy infantry and a lot of light cav as well. Well, not a lot of light cav, but we have more heavy infantry by a little bit. We're just a little bit better off, I think. But our right flank is kind of weak. We don't have anyone guarding our right flank. So right now we're at the arrow phase where troops are basically firing arrows at one another. This will lower the amount of forces for the latter half of the battle, but we are not in control of our battle right now. The battle is completely up to itself, so I'm just going to let the time pass and you'll see. Now we're getting into the actual battle of the battle, and it looks like they're actually already winning, which is kind of unfortunate. So, yeah, well, we're going to let it go. We're going to let it go. Yeah, we're going to lose this battle because I want to raise vassal levies. Okay, hold on a second. Let's get our vassal levies moving. You could, of course, shift-click, as one would expect. And get this guy to stay. And we'll see. Basically, we've just been defeated. The game pauses because I've set it to do so. Okay, it looks like we're going to have another 300 men. Which is basically going to give us... about as many men as we expected to have. You know what? This guy's gonna come over here since we're all gonna gather in Turapets. So as you can see on the left hand or the right hand side of our army, that's basically their fatigue level. We're just merging our armies, by the way. Pitiful King, may wisdom ever elude you. This is a formal declaration of war. Oh, butts. Okay, who is this guy? Ah, that's not good. Okay, so we're immediately at war with a lot of people. These guys decided to declare war on us. Okay, oh no. Oh god, they see blood in the water. They're smelling blood in the water. Yep, they're all smelling blood in the water. Okay. Well, shit just got real. We may very well be in the position where we're about to lose everything. Which is fine, because I have another save file that I actually wanted to show off. So if we lose, we lose. I'll let it happen. But right now, I want to... Oh my god. Okay, they're all declaring war on me. Dino dicks. This is bad. Okay, so... let's go ahead and pick a fight with these guys. If shit gets super real, which it will in just a moment here, let's see if we can win this battle. If we can win this battle, then I'll be happy. But I don't know if we're going to be able to. By the way, our actual troops decided to fight against us. Our vassals decided to fight against us. And we lost! This is unfortunate. But now I get to show off the mercenary mechanic. So, essentially, I can go ahead and hire mercenaries. So, the guys that I can hire right now cost $70. For some reason, I can't hire them. Oh, they don't have any troops. I can hire them. They cost $70, but they also cost $350 per month. Now, a month pass is real fast in this game. That means we're going to run out of money very quickly. But that's fine. Let's let that happen. Let's go ahead and get our mercenaries ready to go. Every morning, especially when the weather is as splendid as it is today, you'd like to go out on your balcony, lean against the railing, and take a deep breath of fresh air. The view from up here is spectacular. Oh, totally butts! Okay, as you lean forward on the railing, you suddenly hear the sound of splintering wood as it gives way and you can tumble over the edge. While plummeting towards the ground, you spend your last moments reflecting on the gravity of the situation. Well, my king is dead, and I'm pretty sure... yeah, that's the end. We lost because we didn't have a son in time. So, really, I had no chance there. We lost because our lineage no longer exists. So we could quit to, after a lineage of 0 characters, we have given up our kingdom to other members of other factions. We immediately lost. We had no chance. Which is unfortunate, but hey, sometimes the RNG does that to you. But that's not going to be the end of this video. It'll be over in maybe like 10-15 minutes. Because I want to show you an actual save file that I've been running on, which is in the exact same area. It's back in Homegarter, except I've gained this much more land, as you can see. I've become the actual king of Gardariki, which I don't know exactly how you're supposed to properly pronounce that. But I've become the proper king of Gardariki. I have a lot more land now, and I have a lot more vassals who are actually cool with me. I'm pretty sure, anyway. I think they're all pretty cool with me. So as you can see, I've led a lot of wars. This guy in Skov, actually, the guy who declared war on us initially there, also declared war on us in this particular run. Who are these guys? Yeah, our vassals are actually fighting amongst themselves. So if we decided to choose to play as, you know, a count, say, counts can actually gain more land by taking land off of each other. So it looks like they're actually fighting amongst themselves right now, or actually fighting over here. Yeah, it looks like they're fighting over here. There's a war going on. So our counts individually can actually capture their own land. You can change laws to make sure that doesn't happen. Unfortunately, you don't have a lot of control over laws, since we're actually a tribal people here, as these pagan Norse. So we can't do too terribly much. So there are a couple things that you can see. There are dangerous factions here, yet again. These guys want independence. I've already actually dealt with a couple of these guys in the independence faction by executing them or banishing them. These guys want to lower the crown authority, which I'm not going to let them do. But as you can see, this lady, who's actually my son's wife, if you can see. The little crown means he's my heir, so my son's wife wants independence, which is pretty shitty, let's be honest here. I'm not a very good daughter-in-law. I have considered killing her, but if you look, right, so if I were to go to killing, I only have a 28% plot power per year, which means that I have a 28% chance of killing her each year. It's not very good. But you can add people to the plot to increase the power. So like this guy could add 75% plot power. However, he's not willing to join the plot because his opinion of me is -5. He's got a good opinion of her, and he's got base reluctance as well. So really doing that plot, not very good. But it would be a good idea considering the heir to this land is actually my heir's son, which is fine, because if he inherits the land, then he's part of my dynasty, which is House Dragmire, which is like the what is it? It's from Zelda. Zelda. That's where I got the name from. So yeah. So oh, he's got kids. He's got a brother. I didn't know that. Interesting. So, as you can see in this little realm tab, our main king had lots of kids. Look at all these kids. My daughter died, like, real early. Like, she turned 16, and I married her off, and then she died, and then the king of Denmark wanted another one of my daughters, so I was like, yeah, whatever, here, take more daughters. So, I have a lot of kids, and this is the only one that's actually born more kids, which is my heir, my oldest son, oh dear. Oh dear. But yeah, so as you can see, my lineage is actually, or my familial tree is or my family tree rather, is pretty big of the House Dragmire, which means that if any of, like, the thing is, these red teardrops, or the red blood drops really, mean that they're part of my line, right? They're part of my lineage. So if my king dies, then I play as my heir. If my heir dies, then I play as the next guy who's a landholder, right? And the next guy holding land who's also in my lineage, I get to play as him. So because I had kids, it's good and also bad. The reason it's bad is because of the laws, right? So the law is Gavelkind, meaning that the lands that I hold, which I hold 19, those are going to be split up between my kids when I die. It's not a huge deal, but it also kind of sucks because it leads to some succession wars. I could press ducal claims, which means that I have claims on this land because of the duchy, essentially. So there are different titles that you can get. So right now you can see my king's titles. A lot of my vassals do not like me. Yeah, a lot of them hate me, actually. But that's fine. They liked me basically my whole life. Now they hate me, but I'm 50. I'm gonna die soon anyway, so I don't really care if they don't like me very much. As long as they like my son, I don't really care. Right now, I'm just trying to gather as much land as possible. But you see, I could go through all of my titles. So I have titles here. Oh, I have strong claim on Perislavel? Oh no, I was just looking at the other claims that I have. Okay, but anyway, so yeah, I have these baronies and all this stuff, all these counties and so forth. But the most important one is the kingdom of Gardariki, right? That's very, very important. That's what I've worked my whole life to achieve, is this kingdom, right? And it contains all of these things: the Jarldom of Belo Horizon, Jarldom of Briansk, which is basically just Briansk, actually. And you can see all these here. So let's say Jarldom of Yaroslavl, right? So those two lands create a duchy, which is, or a Jarldom, which is what I have here because I'm in the Norse area. Same basic thing. Because of the de jureship, this falls under that Jarldom, and which is why I have a claim on it. I don't know if that really makes a lot of sense, because you don't know what's happening, but that's fine. So we have another thing that we can do. We have titles that can be created. We can have children who lack a guardian. So this is something that you could do with your kids. You can educate your child. So, for instance, I want to educate her with, me. Let's educate our daughter. Because she will get some of the traits that we have by educating them, right? We have another weak claim, which means that we can actually claim this land, as you can see, for this person. I don't know who she is. Who is she? She's husband to... Is she, like, part of not my bloodline? There's another thing that can happen, where it's a black tier, which means they're not technically part of your lineage, but they're part of your family. So they're, like, really, like, distant cousins, essentially. We don't actually have that on this character, so I don't know why. But I can fight a war in her name. There are reasons for that. I don't really know why I have that ability, but I do, for Oslem Kagalid. And one title can be created. So, what I can actually do right now is I can create the Kingdom of Ruthenia. If I were to do so, I would have claims on all this land that is not mine. The reason I would is because I'm the king of those lands, and I should rightfully hold them by right? Like, that's why I should have those lands. However, I'm not going to do that. The reason I'm not going to do that is because separate kingdoms have actually separate laws. And because of that, and because of Gavelkind succession, one of my sons would be the king of Gardariki, and my other son would be the king of Ruthenia down here. I don't want to do that, so I'm not actually going to create this kingdom yet. I will create it once my king dies, and then I have to just deal with his sons, which he's already got 2 of. I might have to murder this one. Yeah, I might have to murder that one. Alright, well, you know, shit happens. But essentially, right now, you can see, if we go into our military tab, I actually have a maximum of 5,155 troops available to me. I have 54 bucks, which isn't much. But let's just go ahead and speed up the time a bit. See what happens. Looks like there's a war up here. So when you're at war, you see these cross-hatching lines. That means that the land is occupied during the war. So you can really only get land. So, like, for instance, here, I'll show you here. If I wanted to declare war on this guy... Oh, I can't declare war on him. So I wanted to declare war on these guys, the Mordovins. I can claim any of these lands, right? But that means if I go to war with them, I can't just take all their land because I don't have a claim on it, right? But I could claim their lands individually, and after the war, they cede those lands to me. So you can't, like, immediately take over everything. However, the Pagans have this ability to automatically have a claim on border colonies, or border nations, which is what these lands are. So if I wanted to go to war with them, that's fine, because they border my land, and I have the right to take it because I'm a Norseman. If I'm already the king of Rus, but if I wasn't, which is like Russia, if I wasn't the king of Russia, I have the ability to declare war, oops-a-daisy, declare war for the sake of, I have de jure claim on Gudaz. I can just conquer them. I can claim all of the land for subjugation, because it's part of the lands that I want. That's a new ability that Pagans have. You can also, like, for instance, if I were to go across the sea here and I wanted to fight the Arabs, I could, and the reason that I could do that without a claim is because I could call it a holy war. I'm pretty sure, anyway. No. Okay, I can't do that for the Arabs, so never mind. But, I actually could declare war on this land, I think? Yeah, I should be able to declare war on him. Yeah. So the reason I can declare war there is because every coastal city, every coastal county is actually available for me to conquer. Yeah, see, Norse Pagans can take any coastal city, which is cool. But anyway, let's just move on. Prince Cyrilla is now of legal of age, and he is a fortune builder. That's interesting. So that's his special ability. He's got a lot of stewardship, which is real good. Looks like there's, again, this battle here going on in my land. Not a big deal. Why don't we go ahead and... Oh, my prisoner, High Chiefess Valdava of Mescheras, is complaining. What a bitch. What does she want? I can let her rot. I can be merciful and put her under house arrest. I can also make her die faster. Who is she? She is the 24-year-old wife of this guy who owns this land? Interesting. Let's not get the de jure. Oh, his wife. That's funny. So another thing that I can actually do, she's in my prison, right? It's this guy's wife who's in my land. So because I'm pagan, I have the ability to take the concubine of any woman that I want. I'm going to take her as my concubine. You're now my concubine, you're part of my court. Which means that she has, her man is me. And she is a mastermind theologian. That's great. So the reason that she's now in my court and that's important is because now I can put her on a council position if I really wanted to. Probably don't want to, so let's go ahead and let her rot in the dungeon. Doesn't really matter. But we're actually going to go to war here because I kind of feel like it. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to declare war. I'm going to claim, actually, which has the most money? Yeah, that definitely has the most money. So let's go ahead and declare war. Claim Chernia. Boom. We're at war with this big giant landmass, which is fine, because now we can summon all of our forces. We are actually not at full strength right now, but that's not that big of a deal. So we're getting all of our men to move into an area. Whoa! He already wants peace! Oh no. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Call to arms. Dear father-in-law, peace be with you. We request the honor, the obligation, call to answer. He wants to fight France? Ay. I'm gonna go ahead and decline because I'm already at war, unfortunately. So basically, how you make alliances in this game is through marriage. I have an alliance with the Danish here, Denmark, because I gave my daughter to, I think, the king and the prince as well. He wants to go to war with these guys, but they're very far away. So I don't really want to do that, and I wouldn't gain much besides prestige. So I can cost some of my prestige. I have 5,615 because I became a king. So, you know, not that big of a deal. I'm going to go ahead and decline, lose 25 prestige. That kind of sucks, but it's not a big deal. Because, like I said, I'm almost dead. I don't need that much prestige, you know? So basically I'm just letting my troops get gathered up. My wife is pregnant? Oh no, my concubine. Ew. Apparently, I have made my concubine pregnant. Which is going to lead to other problems. One of the problems is I will have a bastard, who I can choose to legitimize or not legitimize, which means, like, if I have a son, and if I don't have a son, but I need a son in order to inherit my lands, I could legitimize a bastard, and then he can inherit the lands. A lot of things to deal with in that situation. But anyway, Princess Sif is impulsive, seems unable to tell right from wrong. What should I do? So I could pat her on the head, and she gains the trait Arbitrary, which I don't really want for her. And then, or I could just beat her, and she loses the trait of Arbitrary. So she is being beaten currently. Whoops-a-daisy. Okay, so let's join our armies. Let's go mess these fools up. I want to show you what sieges are like. Actually gonna switch out some armies here. Okay. Where are these guys going? They're going to Moskva, alright? And you guys can go into Vladimir. Okay, now you guys can come in here too. Okay, we're leading a battle. This guy wants to educate my child? I'm okay with that. Yeah, he holds the County of Ingria. It'll make him like me more. Yeah, see, he's increased his likeness of me by 20. He still hates me a lot, but, you know. As you can see, he's got minus 90 for domain too big. So, as you can see, I'm 19 of 10, which means I hold way too much land. But yet again, I don't really care that much because my king is almost dead. So, not that big of a deal for me. And let's go ahead and unite our forces. And then we're going to go to Cheramisa, or whatever. My liege, I've tried to make Mayor turn as her reels have been able to he's a ruler, but sinners and forces are hurt. Ah, that's unfortunate. So basically, I sent my chancellor off to increase the diplomatic relations of our peoples. Unfortunately, he made the other guy hate me instead of made him better, which is kind of unfortunate. So, we have defeated their armies in the field. We're at 50% war score, as you can see down here, and I won the Battle of Vladimir, losing 182 men, and they lost 292. We won the Battle of Simbursk by losing 44 men, they lost 285. And right now, we are sieging. So, if you're in enemy territory, and you're at war, your troops are automatically sieging, but they're only sieging if your attacker number is higher than the defender number. Obviously, we have 3,100 men, and they have 492, meaning that we do have a higher number, and that we're going to be sieging them pretty effectively. Hunger, fast strikes, fastness, under siege, I don't know what that means. Doesn't matter. We suffer 5% losses. Okay, this guy really doesn't like us here. That's fine. Not a big deal. Okay. Hunger is messing things up. A daughter was born to King Einar and our new concubine. Kind of a bummer. I wonder if she counts as one of my daughters. Let's see. Yeah, she counts. She counts in my bloodline. Huh, I wonder if concubines actually do not count as bastards. Fish, fresh fish straight from the river. Fruits and vegetables a day. Too old. The clergy in Skova is not happy with the merchants setting up stalls in the church buttholes, church squares, and demands that it's forbidden. Okay. What does this mean? The mayor likes me more, or the mayor likes me less? I don't really care about mayors. So, whatever. Sure. Yeah, I agree. That's fine. It's not super important for me right now. Like I said, my king is almost dead. So as we siege this city, you can see the war score is actually going down, not in our favor. Ayy, that's real bad. Okay, that's so the war score is going down. That's just because they have forces. Now, what just happened is this guy has just usurped the title of the Jarldom of Pereslavel from the other guy, which means he's become even more powerful. And that's dangerous. Having powerful vassals in your nation is dangerous. For me, not so much right now, but it can be dangerous in the future. I know my courtier died after a period of illness. That's sad. I know is actually another concubine that I took. It's kind of messed up. What I did is the guy who declared war on me. Oh god. The guy who declared war on me here, Skov, in the actual last time. I captured his wife, and I took her as my concubine, and then I murdered him. So, you know. Oh, I lose the trait Berserker. That's unfortunately. I no longer have the endurance or constitution necessary to sustain my Berserker rage. That's unfortunate. But I guess I'm an old man. Can't be Berserking forever, you know? Oh boy. Hey, I improved my diplomacy. That's good. Now I can make a new ambition, which I guess is amass wealth. Fine. Fair enough. We're actually losing a lot of money per turn. This is kind of shitty. We actually captured this 6-year-old boy. So he is now in our dungeons. It's unfortunate. Now it looks like we are actually going to be losing a lot of money. We're losing a lot of money per month, which is kind of shitty. Ah! That's interesting. Oh. Are we at war with a bigger... Yeah, we are. Okay, so the Bulgars decided to go to war with us. That's unfortunate. So, the lady almost ran me down as Andrew Dora tearfully. She told me that her daughter Sif had insulted her again. Apparently our daughter Sif can gain the trait of honest, which will lower her intrigue. Yeah, that's fine. She'll gain the trait of honest. Okay, so now that we're at 100% war score, we're going to go ahead and offer peace and force demands. Which means we now hold that land. Unfortunately, we inherited all the lesser titles, or the lower titles as well. Which means that we hold not only this county capital, which is supposed to be a castle, but we also got the city and the temple. I'm not supposed to hold that kind of land, but that's easily solvable. One, I could give it away to courtiers that I like, or I can just do this create new vassal button. I've now created a new vassal, a new lineage. This guy now likes me. However, what I'm actually gonna do, and what is this city called? Pokrovskoye. All right, let's go ahead and go to my court. Let's see who really likes me. Some princes. This guy. He's just a courtier. So he doesn't have any lands, but he's a nice guy. He's got nothing to his name. But now I could go ahead and grant him a landed title, and I'm gonna give him the city of Poroskova Kolokoye. And now he's gonna fucking love me. Nope, he hates me, actually, because my domain size is too big. But that's fine, because now he is House Yelnia, and I have basically given that man land. So he should like me, but he doesn't, unfortunately. And we're gonna go ahead and disband our armies. But anyway, I think that's probably a pretty good telling of what Crusader Kings 2 is. Now, I understand that I might have overwhelmed you with a lot of information a little bit too quickly, but you know, it's kind of fun. Oh, actually, before we go, we're gonna do one more thing. So I have 6 prisoners, right? So what I can do to those prisoners, I could ransom them off for 10 gold. This guy really wants me to do so. He wants to take his daughter back. Unfortunately, that shit ain't gonna happen, because something that we can do is... Oh no, I just recently did it. That's unfortunate. Oh god, sorry about that. We just recently did it, so unfortunately, I can't. But I can go on a grand hunt, so yeah, let's go ahead and do that before we end this video. Now that I've gone on a grand hunt, this will be something that will make vassals like me more. So we will have to find the white stag, and now a bunch of random events are going to happen. So, like, for instance, I'm such a good hunter that I know there's always a large pack of wolves and they look hungry. So I have a 60% chance of no effect, but I gain 10 prestige, and I get a mighty trophy, which is +1 martial. But I can also get, there's a small chance that I'm either maimed or wounded, or I can just gain the trait of Craven, which I don't really want to do. So let's go ahead and try that. Thirsted blood in the afternoon, they brought us many hounds. That's cool. We get extra martial skill. That's pretty cool. The grand hunt is over now. It's truly a noble endeavor and a true challenge for our martial abilities. And we gain 10 prestige. That's pretty cool. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of how the game goes of Crusader Kings. Looks like there's a bunch of armies amassing for some reason in some kind of war. I don't know what the deal is with that. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. This has sort of been kind of a tutorial on what the Old Gods is. Yet, you know, as I said, I overwhelmed you a bit with information, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it anyway. And I tried to do my best to explain everything that I possibly could. I hold all this land, man. It's all gonna go away. It's all gonna go away very soon, once my king dies. But yeah, anyway, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you understand Crusader Kings 2 a little bit better now. I don't know if you do or if you don't. I tried my best. And, you know, potentially, if people really like this, I could think of doing a Let's Play of this in the future. People have been asking for it for a long time, since I've always talked about playing Crusader Kings. And I love the game, so I would be open to it if people really wanted to see it. I don't know if they necessarily do or not. Anyway, thanks for watching. This has been my checkout video on Crusader Kings 2: The Old Gods. It's a pretty cool game. You can pick it up on Steam for, I believe, $15 for this expansion alone, plus the rest of the game bundle with all the expansions. If you want to know whether or not you should buy Crusader Kings 2, yes, if this seemed really cool to you. If it didn't, totally not, because this is a niche game, man. Not everybody can play this game, and not everyone can enjoy this game. But if you get into it, it's great. And there's a Game of Thrones mod, which is really sweet, by the way. But yeah, the game is amazing. I would always suggest everyone pick up this game. However, I totally understand if this is something that is way too complex for you, because this is a very fucking complex game. I mean, I barely went over the basics here, and it took me an hour. So yeah, I would suggest that you pick it up. It goes on sale, actually, quite frequently. I actually picked up everything, all of the expansions, for 75% off, which ended up being like $20 for the whole package, which is an amazing deal. But otherwise, it can be somewhat, you know, cost prohibitive. It's an expensive bunch of games, but it's worth it because it's super duper deep. All of the expansions, what they do, like Sword of Islam, just basically lets you play as Muslim rulers. Old Gods lets you play as pagans, and of course start in the 860s. The Merchant Republic one, I forget what it's called, Rise of the Republics, lets you play as this whole separate thing here. You could play as these Doge, so the Serene Doge, but there's a bunch of other people vying for the position. It's a republic, so it's very different, and you set up trade posts, and it's completely different game type. Sword of Islam, like I said, Arab rulers, and what's the other one? There's something else. There's also Sunset Invasion, which is like, essentially, there's also Ruler Designer, which I love doing, obviously, because I always make new kings and stuff. But there's a new land that they added. That's interesting. Huh? Look at that. I never saw that land before. Anyway, so yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that you should do with all the expansions. I think they're worth it. They're totally worth it because you get to play all the other things. So I would suggest that you pick it up with the expansions. If not, you get to play as farther in the future, but the game ends in 1453, I believe. So yeah, you get to play you know, further into the future, and you get to play as the you know, Catholic kings, which is still cool, still really fun. It's a completely different game style, though, than the Old Gods and playing as a pagan. So, like, I couldn't go to war immediately with a Catholic king like I did here to just start a battle. So, yeah, anyway, that's my suggestion to you. That's my thoughts on the Old Gods, and that's my thoughts on Crusader Kings in general. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. This is Alpacapatrol signing out. Peace, fools.